So the Premier League is officially back. We're already seeing results, from match day one, and it's been a very, very fun weekend already. But regardless, away from the action on the pitch, there's still a lot going on off the pitch, and there are still lots of transfers to talk about. In fact, a lot of transfers were confirmed over the weekend, and we are going to be doing justice to all of them. And first off, Victor, Nottingham Forest have been busy over the past couple of days, and let's rate one of their signings, James McCarthy to Nottingham Forest for £30 million with a buyback and sell-on clause for City on a 5-year deal.
Yeah, this is a good one, especially for 30 mil. Like, okay, could it have been cheaper? Sure, especially with the insertion of the clauses. But 30 mil is not way overpriced for a player that has definitely shown a lot of quality. I'm gonna rate this one 7.5, and I think I'm a little bit pessimistic even with this rating.
So yeah, moving on, Victor. Arsenal were thought to be leading the race for Eberechi Eze, and we did a couple episodes on that. But now it seems like their rivals, Tottenham, might be getting the Palace midfielder. In your opinion, do you see it as more of Arsenal's loss or more of Tottenham's gain?
That's a good question, right? I would say Arsenal's loss, and it's all the more insulting that it's Spurs who are poaching him, But it's definitely like it's hard to see this as anything but a positive for any top team that manages to land a talent like Eberechi Eze. I think Tottenham, if they manage to land this one, they've got an amazing player on their hands, and especially with his quality and with the style of play that it looks like Frank is trying to implement now at Spurs, it's definitely interesting times.
Yeah, fair enough. Actually, it is any club's loss, to lose out on a player like Eze, to be fair.
Yeah.
And moving on to you, Max, it's time for yet another rating. Rate Dango Utara to Brentford for a club record deal of £37 million on a 5-year deal.
I mean, this player is not so bad, but putting 37 mil for this type of player that played only one good season and not even called good, I'd say nice season, it's kind of strange, especially from Brentford. So I'd go a bit pessimistic with this one and rate it 6, I guess, maybe 5.5.
Fair enough. Moving on, Crystal Palace have reached an agreement on personal terms with Bilal El Kanous, but Leicester City have rejected their offer of £20 million. Palace are looking to, sign the player as a potential replacement for Eze. Do you think he's good enough?
I mean, definitely, I feel like nobody currently can replace Eze in Crystal Palace, but actually he's quite good, I'd say, and his potential is not so lower, so I'd say it would be a nice signing, especially for this price, as I know his release clause is 22.5, so they're still going to get him, so for this price, it's a good signing.
Fair enough. And the next question is something that you could see on some random tabloid, but it is indeed somewhat legit. Real Madrid have contacted Arsenal for a swap deal involving Rodrygo and Saliba. Victor, what are the chances of this ever happening?
Oof. I wouldn't really blame Arteta if he was to sacrifice one of his center backs for a world class left winger. I don't think anybody would be sacking him over that, But at the same time, who do you bring in to supplement the loss of Saliba? Because Gabriel, he's a good defender. Saliba is the better one, in my opinion, at least. He's the Van Dijk of the team, if I may call him that. And I think In terms of chances, I don't think it's happening, at least not this summer. But on the other hand, I don't think it would be that outrageous either, especially because of Arsenal's let's say lackluster left wing options. Call it what
Yeah.
it is.
Fair enough. And still with you, Victor, yet another rating. This time, rate Ben Doak to Bournemouth for £25 million on a 5-year deal.
As a Liverpool fan, I'm
You must be
rating this one a
laughing.
10 because I
Right.
mean the pieces of business that Michael Edwards and Hughes the stuff they've done out of fringe players, they've collected almost 200 million pounds, over 200 million pounds actually this summer out of okay Diaz and whatnot, but at the same time to get 25 mil for a player like this, it's just outrageous. But objectively speaking, Bournemouth, it's a good signing, but it's way overpriced. I'm giving it a 4.5. Also because the player himself, unfortunately, there's a lot of potential there. I like the kid, but he doesn't have a great track record with injuries either. So I remember there were a couple of instances at Liverpool where they needed to rest Salah, and the plan was to play Doak, and he got injured the day before the game. You know,
Mm,
it
fair
doesn't
enough.
help. It's not a great look. So yeah, 4.5.
Fair enough. And over to you, Max. Yet another rating, and once again, it is Nottingham Forest. Rate Omari Hutchinson to Nottingham Forest for £37.5 million on a 5-year deal.
It's hard to rate actually because last season he definitely wasn't the main star at Ipswich, but also I feel like he has a potential. But for this kind of price, especially for Nottingham Forest, I don't really like this signing. So potentially wise, I'd rate it 6.5, but not more.
Mm, fair enough. And yet another rating, Victor. This one's for you. Rate Arnold Kalimuendo also to Nottingham Forest for £27.2 million on a 5-year deal.
Yeah, he had some decent numbers in League On last season for Rennes. He had 17 goals in 33 games. I wouldn't say anything earth shattering, and when you combine this with the price, 27 million, it's it's a bit much. So I'm gonna give this one a 5. Um, I would give it more if the price were lower, basically. But at the same time, for English teams to buy from France on the cheap is always very difficult. Always. And
Yeah.
yeah, Forest need the depth. They overpaid a little bit here, but it is what it is.
Yeah, fair enough. And just on a final note, for a question that would require the opinion of yourself and Max, the question everyone is asking after the round one of the Premier League is that how would Newcastle solve their striker situation? They had to use Anthony Gordon as a makeshift nine over the weekend. So, Victor, in your opinion, what do you think Newcastle should do regarding the old Isak and search for a striker saga?
Get Wissam Mateta or both.
Mm.
It's been really difficult to see them struggle like this. The last 6 games that they didn't have Isak this season and last season, they they blanked in 4 of them. You know, and it was just painful to see them against Villa as well. And obviously, Gordon is not a striker. So yeah, they need someone, and they need someone damned quick.
Yeah, fair enough. Max, your opinion on that?
I mean, we already saw that Brentford signed new strike and Wissa wants to leave and wants to join Newcastle, so I'd say this type of signing should be perfect for them, and also it wouldn't be pretty much costly, so yeah, I think this is the best decision.
So effectively, we are all still agreeing that Isak to Liverpool will happen before the window end.
I'm not sure, but probably even at Winter, but he's not playing for Newcastle. I'm pretty much sure.
Okay. Okay. We're just going to see how everything unfolds. I mean, everything could change before our next transfer episode, but for now, that's all we have in this one. It was a lot of signings to rate, and we can expect things to eat up, especially with the Premier League already underway. And of course, as we usually do, we'll be bringing all the best bits, all the latest developments, and all the best transfer talking points as they come.